Hey there, and happy Monday. I am Sherry Samuels, the voice coach, showing you how to reconnect to your authentic voice by reframing your thinking, rebuilding inner trust, and rediscovering your innate curiosity. This is so important because when we are connected to our authentic voice, we are doing everything we can to show up in our lives fully and create and live our best life. So let's talk about it. Okay, so the other week we were at a friend's house with the tiny human. She's been here for a while, but this was the first time she was at this friend's house. From the moment we walked in, it was clear that she felt a sense of ease. She roamed about, she laughed, she danced, she ate, she played. But amidst all of this fun, the baby girl came up against a moment of disappointment when one of our friends gently let her know that she couldn't do something. Insert 3-year-old tears, big tears, a poked out lip, and a frown. After a little bit of a chat with her about what she was feeling, and a piece of chocolate chip cookie for good measure, because why not? She seemed to be okay. Not long after, our friend asked something like, "Do you forgive me? Are we friends again?" Real lighthearted like. I happened to be holding her in my arms and said, "Yes." As the baby girl shook her head, "No," again with a frown. My friend was like, "Oh, it's okay. You don't have to forgive me." A big, bright, glaring light bulb went off for me. Why? Because without realizing it, I was encouraging the tiny human to disconnect from what felt right to her. No, my response wasn't malicious. I was simply offering her a response that would ensure the person asking about the forgiveness didn't feel bad. Ever done that? We do this without realizing it. We respond to things in a way that is inauthentic to us simply because we're taught to make sure that we don't say or do something that makes someone else uncomfortable. But doing this, continuing to do this, we are essentially sending a quiet message to our inner voice that our feelings are less important than others. Now, I don't like or need those kinds of quiet messages to myself, and you don't either. I reached out to my friend the next day to thank her for that moment, explaining that I was not only grateful for how she responded to the tiny human, but for the awareness that happened for me. At the beginning of the month, I mentioned that my goal, since she's been here, is to see her thrive. And while the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s are absolutely a part of that, what it really means, that place of thriving, is showing up every day to remind her that her voice is one of power, that her boundaries are hers and deserve to be respected, and that she can have, do, and be anything she puts her sweet little mind to. And so can you. Now, all that said, while it is easy to forget, in this life, we are all works in progress. There are days when we feel like we've gotten everything right, and other days where we feel like we've gotten everything wrong. There are moments in time that will feel like magic, and others that leave us feeling like we are trudging through mud. There will be experiences that enlighten and others that leave us questioning our existence. But what we must all remember is that when we choose it, there are always opportunities to learn and grow. What does that look like? Well, it looks like remembering that curiosity is our friend. As curious as so many of us are about that new iPhone, we have to be as willing to be curious about the depths of who we are and what we want, even when it feels complicated. And I don't know about you, but a new iPhone definitely feels complicated to me. It looks like choosing to be kind to ourselves, setting the intention to shift that negative self-talk into an affirming statement that is a reminder that each new day offers new graces if we give ourselves permission to see and accept them. It looks like doing the work to strengthen our internal trust with ourselves. We cannot ever trust anyone else fully until we first trust ourselves. That means being willing to forgive ourselves for missteps, set and keep boundaries that honor our highest good, and believe that when it is all said and done, everything will always work out for our good. Remembering those things is not easy. I did just say that I told the 3-nager to accept an apology that she wasn't ready to accept. But here I am today, still standing, still learning, still sharing. And with that said, if you know you are not setting and or keeping your boundaries, are unsure how to embrace your innate curiosity, and or are struggling to just trust your authentic voice, let's talk about it. I want you to visit my website, www.chrysalidcoaching.com, to schedule your complimentary consultation where we will talk about how to get you moving in a direction that aligns with the woman you were created to be. I am Sherry Samuels, the voice coach, and this was your thought for the week.